We are Man vs. Meeple, and for April 3rd through April 16th, 2017, this is What's Next.
Welcome back to What's Next, the bi-weekly show where David and I, in conjunction with GTS Distribution, walk you through all the games coming to your friendly local gaming store. Make sure you guys watch the bottom of the screen. There will be a ticker there with all the games coming out, and I'm going to start off with number 5.
Right.
I have Tower of London by WizKids Game. WizKids Games this year is coming out with 20 to 24 games that
Definitely
we've heard
getting
about.
back into it for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. This one is kind of cool, though. It's got a really neat story wrapped around the game. The Tower of London, which sits just north of downtown London, has said to historically and either fictionally, and no one really knows for sure, but according to legend, there's always been 6 ravens that have remained in the tower. As long as those ravens have remained there, London has never been invaded.
So a superstition for sure.
Yeah, but they're still there today. They actually clipped the wings of these ravens, and they're treated like royalty.
That's hilarious.
So they built a game around that aspect. This is an area control game in which players are playing on a board, and there's 3 concentric circles that all contain rooms and buildings within the Tower of London. Players, during one of the 3 rounds, are going to be taking a hand of cards. Each player has 13 cards. Each round, they're going to be drafting 6 of those and playing 2 of them. One for one of the rooms where they want to place one of their guards, and the other card for a special ability or action they get to take. At the end of every round, 3 of those cards are going to be permanently discarded, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
So you're going to be looking on the board, trying to figure out where to go, and then also try not to discard the cards that you need in later rounds.
Right, your options start to dwindle, but it's really cool. I like this because it's a nice sort of introductory, simple area control game.
Yeah.
And I like the dual card thing where you're using the top or the bottom of a card.
Yeah.
And then getting rid of some.
Yeah, the
Very
other
cool.
neat aspect is that each of those rings only score in different rounds. So
Yeah.
you have the first ring scoring in the first round, and then by the third round, all 3 rings will score.
Yeah, there's a lot of pushing people around, a fair amount of interaction, obviously.
Oh, absolutely.
But a nice introductory game for area control.
Yep.
What's next on number 4?
I have a game from Devil Pig Games, who came out with Heroes of Normandy a couple years ago in conjunction with Yellow. This is their own design. It's called Carnage. It is a completely asymmetric style game. Each of the players are going to be representing one of the factions, either orcs, humans, goblins, or dwarves. And it's basically a free-for-all battle royale,
Yeah.
very much like Blood Bowl in one aspect. Players are going to be playing cards onto their side of the board. They're represented by rows. You have frontline troops, backline troops. And each round, they're going to be playing an initiative card face down. That initiative card has a number on it. The lower number gets to go first. The higher numbers go last. But the lower numbers have less abilities and actions and recruiting abilities that you can take on your turn.
Yeah, each of those cards is you're adding more reinforcements.
Yep.
You may be bringing in a hero.
Maybe attacking multiple times.
Yeah, it's
and so
very
forth.
cool. It's a sort of King of the Hill.
It is King of the Hill.
It's King of the Hill, 4-player, and it's pretty quick paced.
30 minutes.
Yeah, you're not playing really too many rounds at all. It's a very good game.
You have number 3.
Number 3 is Sword and Sorcery. And there's a 1978 game, Sword and Sorcery, and this isn't exactly a reimplementation of that.
Yeah.
But this is a miniatures sort of dungeon crawl game in the vein of Descent and things like that. But this one has AI built into it so that there's no Overlord character.
Nice.
And this comes from the people who did Galaxy Defenders, which was acclaimed.
Very popular game.
It's very popular, and a lot of people liked the way they handled the AI so that the game sort of played against all the players.
Mm-hmm.
This one also, if you're a fan of like World of Warcraft, it has a resurrection system. So if you die in this game, you're not sitting there waiting for the rest of the people to finish the game. You become as sort of an ethereal ghost, if you will, and you have special powers while you're a ghost. You can remain a ghost for the rest of the game, or you can actually do a corpse run like you would in WoW.
That's awesome.
Where you're going to a resurrection shrine or something like that, and you can come back into the game as your normal self.
Yeah.
But it's interesting because it could be a decision, because I know one of the characters, their ethereal power is to do a lot of healing. So you could still play a really strong role as a ghost if you wanted to, and even scout out, because obviously you're a ghost.
Yeah.
There's no risk of dying again.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's Sword and Sorcery. Really cool, amazing miniatures too. I mean, this thing was on Kickstarter last year and now just hitting retail. Really pretty game, great table presence.
We have 2 games coming out that in the next couple weeks that are both escape the room type games. I'm going to cover the first one. This one's called Exit, and there's 3 titles. There's The Abandoned Cabin, The Pharaoh's Tomb, and The Secret Lab. This is by Cosmos, and it plays 1 to 6 players. It's a little bit longer than our other game. It's 90 minutes. The difference in this game is that, number 1, it's destructible. So you do only get to play the game once unless you make copies of some of the materials. Each of the games will come with a booklet which is to remain hidden throughout the course of the game. You'll be cutting places out of here, pasting them onto different things, trying to figure out ways that things match on puzzle pieces. And the other neat thing that comes with the game is there's wheels. And very much like the old style D&D PC games from years ago, you'll be using these wheels to find rooms to enact different things.
I love the escape room concept. I mean, and there's more and more of these hitting the market from all sorts of publishers. These are probably not even the last two that we'll see.
And the great thing, too, is that people are going to say, it's destructible, you only get to play it once. But $15, you get to play a game with a whole group of people. And $15 is a pretty low entry fee compared to going to an actual escape room. You're going to be spending hundreds of dollars.
Absolutely. Slightly different experience, but still a fun option for the table.
Yep.
And equally fun option for the table is number one, which is Unlock. This is the same sort of concept from Asmodee and Space Cowboys. We really like Space Cowboys. They really know what they're doing when it comes to presentation.
Yeah, absolutely.
The artwork, the graphic design, everything they do. Similar type of experience. This one, I think what sets it apart, it's not destructible. It can be played multiple times. Now, with that said, like any of these, the same group probably wouldn't play it multiple times because once you've played it, you kind of understand it, unless you want to improve your time, I guess.
Yeah.
This is just simply a deck of cards. And, you flip over a card. It'll give you a situation. It'll list a list of numbered cards that you can then reveal what you see in the room. So what's cool is one player could play this and look at all the cards, or if you're playing with 5 people and there's 5 different elements in the room, everyone can say, okay, I have a key.
Yeah.
And if you've ever been in an escape room, that's exactly what it's like. You're running around the room and say, I have a key, I have no idea what it's for, and someone else says, oh, it's for this cabinet.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of that going on. Plus there's some math going on with the numbers on the cards that allow you to kind of math out, figuring out what cards to reveal next.
I also really like how this one uses an app, which is completely different than the other one. You have to download an app, but it also allows some flexibility in the design space. You can have things such as keypad.
That's the other element that's really cool. I like the keypad aspect, because if you've ever done one, all of them have those keypad aspects.
Yeah.
So having that in the app, not only that, they have a hint system. So if you, again, escape rooms often have that where you can use a few hints. So you basically will push the hint button, and it'll ask you the number card you're on, and then it will give you a hint to help you there. Now, when you do that, it knocks some time off of your allotted time.
Yeah.
So
and these are a straight 60 minutes. You have 60 minutes to get in and out.
They are 1 hour, and then the app obviously has the timer going as well. So it's all built in.
It'll be interesting to see how these two do, and both of them come with 3 particular games for each of the experiences.
3 different games around the same price point, I think.
$15 as well.
So if you're looking for an escape room opportunity at your table, there's very soon going to be many, many of them. And there's already a couple out, I think. Yeah. But there's a lot of options coming in. These are obviously lines that they will continue on for some time.
And let's go directly into the friendly local game store.
Yes, our friendly local game store this week. You know what? We've been doing this for a while now, and I'm starting to wish all of these stores were right here in our area. I mean, we have some great stores here too, but every store we talk to, they just seem really fresh, and all of them are extraordinarily passionate. A lot of them are reaching out to us. This week, it's Level Up Games, and they're in South St. Paul, Minnesota. They've been in operation for about 6 years. A couple guys, Tony Leitner and Tony Hoagland, started this thing. And one thing they mentioned is they claim to have the most Tonys employed in their area. So I guess worst case, you could walk in there and say, hey, Tony, and someone's going to respond to you. But they've built over the years a incredible presence and footprint. They started with one location and then expanded, I believe, into the next door location. So now they have a giant retail space, which is about 3,800 square feet in and of itself, and then a connected storefront next to them that's just game space and maybe some storage, but it's also another like 3,700 square feet. Very clean, well organized. They're also more than just board games. So a lot of stores out there will try to branch off. They'll do comics, basically everything geek culture.
Yeah.
They're doing like buying and selling used video games and doing that well, and it's working for them. That doesn't always work for everyone, but it's working well for them. They also have an actual arcade located in there, with a lot of really good classic arcade games in there. So they're trying to build an area, like everyone is, where all gamers can come, and no matter how or what you're into when it comes to gaming, there's something there for
creating
them.
that one-stop shop and making everyone feel extremely comfortable within the store environment. So Yeah, if you guys want to submit your store to What's Next, please make sure you make comments below or contact us on Facebook.
Yeah, shoot us a message on Facebook, and we'll get you featured in an upcoming episode for sure.
Yeah, if you guys have any questions, make comments below. Make sure you guys subscribe to us and check us out in 2 weeks as we come back with another What's Next.
Thanks.